Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to Wheel Takes, a podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of books by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. I am Gus. I've read every one.
And I'm Allie, and I'm on book 8, chapter 21?
No. 20.
42.
20. Well, there's not 42 chapters.
75.
This podcast only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read. And again, today that's everything up to and including book 8, chapter 20. Allie, what's going on? Yes. She's been thinking for a bit.
It's been a big day.
Yes.
Lots of events.
Yes.
Lots of things occurring, but I don't know if I actually accomplished anything because I was so busy responding to the events of the day.
I'm familiar with that.
Do you know
experience.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I haven't actually accomplished anything in a few days. I've just been responding to the events of each day.
Well, that's silly.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what
by
you
that?
mean. Yeah, you're treading water.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm moving forward. I'm just kind of am.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, but I'm not stressed out about it because I'm kind of like, it'll get done.
It's good.
I get so stressed about things, and then now I'm just kind of like, but why do I? Because is it worth it?
That's a great question.
Usually it ends up all turning out okay.
You know what I do have to tell you?
What?
We've got some people to thank.
We do?
We've got a few of them.
Oh,
We've got a couple.
Okay.
A couple, 2, 3.
A couple, 2, 3.
Couple, 2, 3 people to thank.
Oh my goodness,
Some
okay.
new patrons. First things first. Thanks for the cup of coffee, Nikolai. S.
Like our friend Nikolai?
Our friend Nikolai.
Oh my god, Nikolai!
We
You don't have to do that.
A actual real life friendship
We've known
with.
him for like 10 years.
Yes.
My god, Nikolai. That's weird to think about, though we've known each other 10 years.
It is funny, isn't it?
But Nikolai, you are so sweet. And I know that you have 2 lovely cats that you briefly considered naming Knife and Gwen, which is so cute of you.
That's true.
So I'm going to say, just like a jocular kitty cat, you are graceful. But like usually, with Nikolai, he's usually really graceful, kind of gets through the day, super competent, and then occasionally will kind of just spill his ass into something, much like a cat. And he lands on his feet, but like he's got that little sheepish grin that's like no one saw that.
Yeah,
and I love that about Nikolai. Always good for a laugh. Never takes himself too seriously. You are focused.
Yes.
Like, if there's a spider in our house, our cats are focused on killing it. So much like a focused kitty cat, Nikolai, you are focused. You get things done efficiently and quickly. But again, always with a laugh. And you are, much like a cat, a massive fan of the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. And an incredible, wonderful, loyal companion and friend. And for that, we thank you. And thanks for being a part of this community.
Thanks also.
And also, thanks for being our friend.
Thanks also for the high five, Raymond.
Raymond, just like a gracious... Have I done gracious?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. A gracious shish kebab. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. You spear through right to the meat of life. You are quick. And that, shish kebabs are pretty easy to like just throw together.
They are.
It's something you can just do at a barbecue anytime. You're quick, you're easy, in that you're like, you've always got a good pun or a good little aside or like some kind of cool fun fact. But also you're just easy to be around. And also you're sizzling hot. And for that, we thank you. And thanks for being a part of this community.
And thanks for the pint, Tyler B.
Tyler B, just like a royal grape.
All right.
You have a soft shell. You're what?
Wouldn't that be a crab?
No, grapes have a little membrane.
I like it. Go on.
Excuse me.
I love it.
You have a soft shell. In that, you haven't let the world harden you too much. You're a sensitive person. You care about others' feelings, and you're compassionate, and that's a wonderful quality to have. You also are varying, you know? We've got the purple grapes and the green grapes, and also like a blackish grape.
There's also moon grapes.
What is a moon grape?
You know when you go to the grocery store and you see those grapes that look like pinky finger, like they're huge.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently those are called
That's
moon grapes.
Moon grape?
I know this because I posted about them online, and Bree said, Gus, buy the moon grapes. Buy the moon grapes.
Are they good?
I don't know. I didn't buy them.
Why didn't you buy the moon grapes?
I'd already left. I'm an idiot.
You weren't in the mood to explore?
I didn't know. I thought they were weird mutant grapes. Anyway, back to the point. I'm sorry.
You are surprising in that we didn't know about some of the varying forms that you can come in. And you're multifaceted. There's a lot to you. You know? And you can never have just one moment with you. You've got to have a ton of them. Big handful of moments with you, Tyler. And for that, we thank you, and thanks for being a part of this community.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, everyone. Y'all are great.
Grape.
Y'all are grape. Allie, this is my question.
Yes.
Where'd we leave off?
Ooh.
You know. I know you know.
I do?
I know you know, because I know.
That doesn't mean anything.
It totally makes sense.
No, you've misunderstood. Marriage does not mean that we've combined brains.
It might.
It doesn't sometimes feel like it should, though.
At times.
Like, do you ever get a little bit frustrated that I don't know something that you know?
Yes. And vice versa, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Oh, all the time.
Yes.
Gus has recently gotten into something called liquid death.
It's water. It's very tasty.
Mm-hmm. It's water that's designed to look like, you know, you're carrying around a can of alcohol because, you know, you're at a bar, you want some seltzer, but you don't want to look like you're drinking seltzer.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't drink, but you don't want people to bother you at a bar.
Yeah, you don't want people to bother you about drinking. So it's called Liquid Death. It's a very cool little can. And Gus has gotten very into it because my cousin Albert brought it over when we were having a little party.
Yeah.
And you have left some cans out from now and then.
Well, that's a thing I do.
Well, yeah. Don't you ever like have things that they do too, where you're like, how has this not become like?
It used to be bottle caps, then it was receipts. Mm-hmm, now it's cans of liquid death.
Yes.
But I want to point this out.
Oh, and coins.
Coins for a while.
Thing, yeah,
before I stopped using cash. Not by choice. I just stopped. The other day, you came up to me with a can of liquid death. You said, Gus, I'd really, I'd appreciate it if you could. You left this can of liquid death on the table.
Uh-huh.
I'd really appreciate, which is a completely fair ask. I'd really appreciate if you would throw away your cans.
Totally fair.
And Ellie walks away to throw the can away, and I look to my left, and sitting on the table, as has been for a day and a half, is an empty Aquafina water bottle.
Well, everyone with ADHD knows that our mess doesn't count.
This is a very elaborate distraction, but where did we leave off?
Talking about water bottles.
That's true. That's correct.
What were we talking about?
Egwene did half of her plan.
Ah.
And I asked you, are we going to see the rest of it?
God, I hope so.
Did we?
We did.
You sure fucking did.
Yeah, we did, and it went very well.
It went very well. What was her plan, Allie?
Okay, so her plan was thus. Show up at this meeting and basically go in there and go, I'm going to declare war on Elida the bee. Who is with me? And then she thought that everyone would go, yeah, me. And then she got a very tepid response.
Did she think everybody would go, hell yeah?
At first, yeah. I thought she was like, oh, how are there only 2 people who want to join me?
She thought she'd get the lesser consensus.
Yeah.
Right?
But she was surprised by how few she got.
Yeah, she got 10. She needed 11.
Okay, I was going to say, she thought, oh, how did I only get 10?
Yeah.
So then she gave a very impassioned speech.
Well, she did that before the 10.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
I mean, we'll go through the events of it. Yeah, go ahead.
But I like my version.
That, for the record, was your can of liquid death that you just knocked over.
It just liquid died.
It did.
Okay. So okay, so at first she shows up and then she's like, who is going to declare war with me? And then Romanda's like, that's not important right now. And I was like, that is the most important thing ever.
It's kind of the cornerstone of why we're here.
Yeah. Like, if you don't declare war on this bee, why the fuck are you here? And more importantly, why did you even engage with Gareth Bryn in the first place?
Truly.
All of it's fucking dumb.
Truly.
And he made you promise that you would go to war.
Truly.
So we gotta go to war.
So
stop being a dumbass.
Yeah.
Romaine lettuce. God, a E. coli lettuce over here.
Chipotle recall.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right, so Chipotle recall.
That is a very specific reference to a very specific problem plaguing a very specific food chain 6 years ago.
Was this 6 years ago?
I think it was 2016. It was a while ago.
Shit. Okay, anyway, that was the worst year of my life because I love Chipotle. Anyway, this podcast is brought to you by Chipotle.
It's probably not, but it might be. Wouldn't that be cool?
Actually,
it could be.
I heard an O'Reilly's Auto Parts
the
advertisement
anthem of the Midwest.
And it was honestly like I met fucking Patrick Stewart or something. I was so excited. I sang it aloud. And then I was not over how excited I was by that. And then it played again a second time. Oh my God.
That's my favorite thing is we've blocked so many categories of ads. We blocked so many categories of ads. I'm surprised that Spreaker was not angry at us. Thanks, Spreaker. You're great.
This podcast is brought to you by Spreaker.
That's true. They host it. But we blocked so many categories that people would reach out to us and be like, I got the same ad 8 times.
Apologies.
Because I guess the algorithm was like, well, we would show you one of these 15 things, but they've blocked 14 of them.
We did that so that you wouldn't have to listen to weight loss ads or alcohol ads. Like, we don't know you. What if you have things that you're dealing with? We didn't want you to have to face your demons on this podcast.
Or Chumba Casino.
I kind of think we should bring back Chumba Casino.
You want to bring back Chumba Casino? Apparently, Chumba Casino does slip through sometimes.
I'm weirdly fond of Chumba Casino. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, okay. So romaine lettuce, Chipotle recall. She gets up there and she goes, Egwene, there's more important shit. And then I go, what could possibly be more important than this? And she lists some bullshit things like opening the novice book. And I'm like, that's fucking too bad. That's happening, you dumb fuck. And then, and some other stupid, irrelevant shit that doesn't matter that Egwene is like, we've already discussed this and it's happening. And by discuss this, I mean, I said it was happening. So it was happening because I'm the fucking Armerlin seat, you dumb, absolute biddy. So then, Egwene gives a very impassioned speech. Very cute. 10 out of 10. Swan helped her write it. Swan speechwriter extraordinaire. Then she gets everyone to stand up who she needs. She gets like 11 people standing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then basically what happens is war is declared by the Saladar group, which is delicious. And then on top of that, that means that now Egwene has absolute power.
She pulled a Palpatine. She pulled a Papa Palpy.
She's Papa Palpy.
She pulled any number of admittedly despotic rulers throughout history.
I'm trying to come up with like a funny play on the name Egwene.
I think it was Bree said, yeah, this is dictatorial and despotic, but it's my dictatorial despotic girl.
Well, I will not lie. I did the wave on the live stream where we responded to this because she's just been slapped around for so long.
This is the upside. We went deeply into the weeds about why the fuck do the women have to work for things and the men have it handed to them. And that's still
really
true.
Honestly a universal question.
Yes, and it is true, and it's true in these books. But it is really nice when the women then do get the power they want.
Ah,
I mean,
I love it. Oh, the dog was
you
alerted.
You made kissy noises, so you thought you were going to give him treats.
I kiss him so much. Anyway, so my horrible dog voice just came out. But I feel like this is going to put her in an even more precarious position, but I don't care. because I want her to blow shit up. I want her to be supreme overlord.
Well, if
anyone has to be.
If Rand can just take nations and we're fine with it, then Egwene can too.
Then I want Egwene to commit... If Rand's going to commit war crimes, I want Egwene to commit war crimes as well.
Pump the brakes here.
I'm for equal opportunity war crimes.
No, we got to have a Latra Pasai. Now, you actually don't have notes for Chapter 19 because it was a live stream. But Chapter 19...
How do you know?
I was sitting next to you.
I took notes with my toes.
Oh, okay. Chapter 19 is called The Law.
Oh no, this is how I end up on Wiki feed.
Nope. It's an Egwene chapter. It's the logo. What is it?
It's a wheel.
Yeah, you have honestly covered
Egwene
almost everything.
Really crushed it this chapter.
That happens in this chapter, because this chapter is basically the capstone to everything else.
Yeah, just read the important bits.
I mean, well,
and the flavors.
Yeah.
Give it the flavor. I didn't give it the flavor.
Okay, no, yeah, I mean, yeah. I love this payoff. It's a great payoff. Is it... How exactly...
I love it so much that I would marry it.
How do the last 4 chapters... I get, like...
I just want to see her burn cities to the ground.
I'm not going to think about it too hard.
I just want to see her slaughter innocents.
It works. You want to see her... Well, I'm not going to spoil that show. Never mind. Yeah.
Yes, what you're thinking, that's what I want for her.
Yeah.
Was I the only one watching that happen and going, yes, Queen,
I don't think you
burn
were,
the children?
Because we didn't finish that show. We got to the last episode and then went, I don't really care, and turned it off.
Anyway.
Yeah. Getting the sitters to their mounts proved no bother. They were as eager to be away as Egwene, especially Romanda and Lelaine, both cold as the wind, and with eyes like thunderclouds. The rest were the very image of cool-eyed Aes Sedai serenity, giving off composure like a heavy scent, yet they glided to their horses so quickly that the nobles were left gaping, and the brightly clad servants scrambled in loading the pack horses to catch up as best they could. So, they're heading out. They're dipping. Egwene's going quick. She's got to go fast. She's going full Sanic.
This was like 50 pages of smoothing skirts.
Sanic. The first half of this chapter. Sanic.
What is Sanic?
Got to go fast.
What?
Sonic.
Why did you say it like Sanic?
It's the internet.
Sanic?
Sanic.
They say Sanic on the internet?
It's a meme. I don't know.
The internet
Gotta go fast.
Dumb.
Yeah, well, yeah. Have you just started? Are you new here?
You know what's wild is that I have millennial coworkers, and I am also a millennial. And today someone was like, "Ugh, I left that meeting so mad. It was Arthur hands all over the place." You know, like that meme of Arthur.
Oh wow,
like,
yeah.
And I was just like, "Is that so ubiquitous that we're now just gonna like?" Is that what memes are doing? They're just infiltrating everything we do.
Well, that's what you know where
it's cool.
The word meme comes from, right?
Mnemonic device.
Mimetic.
I was so close.
Yeah. I think mimetic has something to do with...
I was joking, and I was close. Oh, God.
Let me see. Mimetic.
I am just incredible.
Pertaining to replication of concepts.
So I was like super.
And a meme is a concept, and it's an old word. Let's look at the etymology of meme. This is where we are today. Shortened from mimeme, or mimeme.
Mimeme.
Coined by... Oh, it's not that old.
Old English people were so cute.
By a British biologist in 1976? What the god?
That's not that old.
Anglicized as if from a noun derived from ancient Greek mimeomai, with the deverbal suffix ma from mimos, imitation or copy.
See, Richard Dawkins, right? Dawkins. Richard Dawkins was just like, all right, I'm going to make up words. And I love him for that. Why don't we just keep making up words? We can make up words all the time. People will like make fun of me for making up words, and I'm like, Shakespeare made up words? Who gives a shit?
Any unit of cultural information such as practice or idea that is transmitted verbally or by repeated action from one mind to another in a comparable way to the transmission of genes.
Basically, I'm saying I'm Shakespeare.
Well, yes.
Obviously.
Derived terms. Dank meme. Okay, Wiktionary, what do you got? Dank, meaning awesome, plus meme. An internet meme with a humorously tongue-in-cheek tone derived from gaudy or surreal aesthetics. Quotations. Born too late to explore the Earth. Born too soon to explore the galaxy. Born just in time to browse dank memes.
See, okay, that makes me mad because they should have just said explore dank memes.
Yeah.
They had set up a pattern. They broke the pattern and it wasn't funny and they fucked up.
Isn't that the rule of threes, maybe?
Yeah, my brain is really pissed off right now.
Yeah.
Ugh. They had one job. All right, let's go.
How the fuck did we get here?
I don't know.
All right.
And maybe we'll cut it.
Only the writing, and there's groups of sitters. Only Delana never joined one of those brief conversations. She stayed close beside Big Titty Maid Girl.
The fact that you read it with so much seriousness.
Who at least admitted that she was cold. Face tight, nips akimbo. The country woman. Oh God!
Nips akimbo.
I can't breathe. All right.
What is that? Them diagonal?
Yeah. It's cold.
They go one up, one down.
It's cold. They're all over the place.
Are they zigzagging?
Maybe. I don't know why people listen to this.
Are they strobing?
Face tight, the countrywoman held her cloak close around her, but she still tried to comfort Delana, whispering to her almost constantly. Delana seemed to need comforting. Her brows were pulled down, drawn down, putting a crease in her forehead that actually made her seem aged. All right, so,
God forbid the women
Bryn
age.
talks to Uno, and and everybody's chatting, and Swan is on Bella. How's that going?
She hates horses.
She hates horses so fucking much. She loves boats.
Loves fish, hates horses.
Loves fish, hates horses.
She's opposite of Nynaeve.
Women fear me. Fish fear me. I fear horses. Men fear me. I fear undie
What is the opposite of a horse girl?
A
shore girl?
boat.
I like shore girl
Shore
because
girl's
it's
good.
got all the letters.
Yeah, it does. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yes, that was such good
That's very
wordplay.
good. All right, so Swan's trying to ride a horse and fucking up, and Sheriam is like, "You're fucking shite at that," and Egwene is like, "Maybe you should both shut the fuck up." Oh my God, shut the fuck you, shut up.
Okay, so Egwene, you'd be so pretty if you smiled more.
And then Robert Jordan, oh God, Robert Jordan decided to do the thing again where he invents a phrase.
Oh, I love and hate when he does that.
Which I appreciate.
I love it, but I'm also like, Robert.
That left the Black Tower, a disaster in the making. You got further plucking a chicken in front of you than trying to start on one up a tree. Especially when the tree was in another country and there might not even be another chicken.
Excuse me?
It makes sense.
No. The phrases are never that long. People are lazy as shit.
Well, I think
because we're going to shorten everything down to a bird in the hand.
I think the phrase is, you got further plucking the chicken in front of you than trying to start on one up a tree, which is just a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's the same phrase. He just made it different, which is great. I like this, actually. But
yeah, and that's where we end it.
Yeah.
But then she adds on some more shit.
Well, it'd be like if you said
right?
a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, especially when the bush is in fucking Maine and there may not be it actually
and the hand's
feels so
actually
awkward.
up my ass.
Oh my God. Fingers of the Dragon in the Dark again. I've seen the show. Egwene knows all about the Fingers of the Dragon in the Dark.
went Rafe Jenkins' first draft.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Wait, okay. Okay, wait. I read just... Ooh, okay. Book cloaks are typing. Ruined the show.
No, that's the TikTok commenters.
Oh my god.
Because every time you post a TikTok that even vaguely mentions the show, they just come out of the wall.
They come find me. They're so mad. And for what? It's a TikTok. I'm making jokes on the internet for free.
So
they act like I fucking know Rafe. Like, they're like, the show is terrible, by the way. Let Rafe know. And I'm like, I don't know him.
So, we get back, and Egwene gives Sheriam instructions ominously.
Ominously.
And Sheriam goes, Mother, if I may ask, why... It will be as you say, Mother. Strange. I remember the day you and Nynaeve came to the tower, 2 girls who couldn't decide whether to be excited or frightened.
And it was all of 4 weeks ago.
So much has changed since then. Everything. And Egwene is like, yeah, well, things change. And then she, like, looks to Swan, and then they would look back, and then Gareth Bryn is
Could you imagine you're, like, a White House intern, and then, like, 4 weeks later, you're president?
And then Bryn comes in, and he's like, hey, I can stick around if you want. You want me to stick around?
How about you stick your underwear up your asshole?
I bet that's where it is. Says. I mean, if it's just strings and rags and it's got a wedgie.
What do you wear under, like, chainmail? What's not going to make it chafe mail?
You wear a padded leather jerkin.
Padded leather jerkin.
Yeah, under chain, you usually wear, what's called an arming coat, I think?
What do you wear under the padded leather jerkin?
Oh, what the fuck? I read the Miles Cameron book.
Under the padded leather jerkin, do you wear a padded leather gherkin?
Bassinet? Is that what it's called? Hold on.
That was funny as fuck.
That was great. No, that was really good, but I got distracted. No, the bassinet's a helmet. It's the thing that goes under your helmet. My bad. Arming coat?
Oh, wait, is it a gherkin or a merkin?
A gherkin is a pickle.
I'm thinking of a merkin.
What the fuck is a merkin?
Look it up. Fuck, I fucked up the joke.
No, it's still funny. Oh.
Basically, it's like pubes you wear.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a pube wig.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, so under the padded leather jerkin, do you wear a padded leather merkin?
Yes.
Obviously. Canon.
So...
Print.
So he's like, you want me to stick around? I can stick around, you know, and Egwene is like, no, go home. Maybe be ready to ride off in a blind panic in case they decapitate me for what I try to do tonight.
Swan has to be ready to ride off in a blind panic?
No, Egwene says to Bryn, what the fuck are you gonna do? That's very sweet of you, but
Bryn
what the fuck are you gonna do?
Bryn is really ready to ride Swan in a blind panic.
He sure is. He's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Why would you? Nothing you can goddamn do to help. Like, I appreciate, and I think the effort here is, do you want some moral support? But still, you know, go home. Go home.
Wait to die, old man.
She says, unless I send Swan to you tonight, Lord Bryn, you should leave before morning. If blame for today if blame for today attaches itself to me, it might reflect on you too. Staying.
She's saying she's gonna send Swan to him to fuck.
No, she's not.
That's what she's saying.
No, it's just a message.
To fuck?
Staying could prove dangerous, even fatal. I don't think they would need much excuse. And he's like, I gave my word to Tar Valon. Whatever tonight's business is, remember that you have 30,000 men and Gareth Bryn behind you. That should count for something, even among Aes Sedai. Until tomorrow, Mother. Then he goes, I expect to see you tomorrow, too, Swan. Nothing changes that.
Ugh.
And then they're like, well, then Sheriam runs around going, the Amerlin Siege calls the hall to sit this day in formal session. Let preparations be made with all speed. And everybody's getting ready to go, and he's chasing. She's like, you're cold. Put on a jacket. Jesus.
For who? Chasa?
To Egwene.
To Egwene.
And
why does she keep treating Egwene like a child?
Because she's her nursemaid, and she wants to keep... She's a really good nursemaid. She's a really good... Well, not nursemaid. Nursemaid.
Yeah, I was going to say...
She's her maid. She's her maid. And she really wants to make sure that she feels good.
Okay, but she better be careful because Halima's been killing the maids.
Halima doesn't make a habit out of giving a fuck about the working class.
I mean, neither does Egwene.
No.
apparently, because she has not questioned at all where these women have gone.
Having fun with that can?
My bad. My foot keeps hitting it. Why is it in foot distance?
So there's lentil stew, and Egwene is like, she must have replaced that lentil stew like 4 times to make sure that it was hot. That's really nice.
That sounds good as fuck right now. I love a good lentil.
And then Egwene and Swan sit down and they get down to business. Allie. We've been fucking around, laying the groundwork ominously for 4 chapters now.
Yeah.
They get right into business, right?
No.
What do they talk about?
I don't remember.
For like way too long.
I don't know.
Okay, but like you wouldn't actually like tell him that I like have a crush on him.
Oh.
Would you like, oh, come on.
Oh my God.
Come on, please don't.
Here's the thing.
And Egwene is like, you better fuck him or I'll tell him. Or something. It's the whole thing.
Robert Jordan decided that because Swan looks 30, that she acts.
I know, she's like
17.
65.
Yeah, she's like 65. Like, I'm 30 and I wouldn't do this. I'm 30 and I'd be like,
she's 40,
I'm going to fucking tell him myself.
Is she 45? But she's
me as a woman.
Pretty fucking not an infant.
Yeah, well, I'm like, what? Did she also regress in terms of her... Like, because this is a conversation I would have had with my friends in high school.
Yeah.
And college. College, I would have kept having this conversation. But at
43.
But at 30, if I liked somebody... I mean, I haven't, like, had a crush on anyone in years, obviously, because we've been together 10 years. But when I had a crush on you... Well, that was college. So, like, I can't speak for myself really now, but I don't think that I would go about it in a, like, oh my God, you tell him or I'm going to.
Well, as
oh my God, you can't tell him. That's so uncool of you.
As my dad once put it, my dad, who is about at the same place we are, he's almost done with book 8, and he was reading book 6, and he was like, I like these books. Why is it that whenever anybody talks to a member of the opposite sex, they turn into a middle schooler?
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know why, except for Matt and Brigitte. Matt and Brigitte, to me, is the most, like, realistic male-female relationship I've seen in a while.
Yeah, because they're just friends.
Because they just chill. And they're like, how are you? Want a drink? Like, that's a normal opposite sex interaction. Once you reach, like, once your frontal cortex has fully developed, you stop with this bullshit of like, oh my God, does he like me? YN. Like that is specifically for youth. I would go to somebody and be like, I'm into you. Let me know if you want to pursue this. If not, I know I'm hot by now, so I could probably find someone else. And I have limited time, so I'm not going to fuck around.
Yeah.
Swan was fucking president. Could you imagine?
She
Joe
was
Biden.
Pope.
Okay, so Joe Biden all of a sudden becomes 30 again. Just in the face. He was very handsome at 30.
He was very handsome.
Anyway, that aside, he becomes 30 again all of a sudden, and he's like, oh my God, do you think Jill likes me? Would never. He's a grown-ass man who's like run a country. And I'm not saying that people who have run a country are serious all the time, but they at least have an evolved frontal cortex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty silly. Do you want to talk about this?
I believe that Egwene would act this way. I
yeah.
believe Egwene would act this way because she's, what, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Egwene would act this way. I do not believe that Swan would act this way.
No.
At 45.
No.
That's just silly. It's silly. I wouldn't act this way at 30. Petey wouldn't even act this way. And he's 3.
He's 3. So she like teases her, and Swan is like, I don't have time to be in love. I barely have time to think between working for you and him. Besides, what if he doesn't return my feelings? He's never even tried to kiss me. Maybe that's because he's going to respect your boundaries and only spank you oh God, bail out, bail out, bail out.
This is the thing that I don't buy this. See, when you're 45, you don't give a fuck if anybody likes you anymore. You're like, I would go up to him and be like, I think you're hot. I would like to smash. If no, respected, I'll go find someone else. Because when you're hot in 45, you could probably find someone else who's hot in 45.
Yeah.
As a woman, You don't have time to waste on people that don't see how hot you are. Ridiculous. Women have to start realizing that they're the commodity here.
And Egwene is like, oh my god, I think Bryn does love... And so we're focusing on this, which I get it. You know, he wanted to do... Okay.
Where are my gays? Please.
They're trying to murder me.
They're trying to murder me.
All right, so we're gonna keep going. In fact...
I just don't buy that this is a heterosexual relationship that exists in the world.
No. We're gonna segue out of this with a couple of ads. All right, welcome back. If you got an ad for like online dating, let us know.
But it has to be straight online dating.
Yeah.
We're
Is that a thing?
excluding
I
the
don't know
queers. I'm just kidding.
I know there's like Grindr.
Okay, what is the straightest online dating app, do we think?
The one for conservatives only.
Farmers only?
No, there's one that is like specific. I forget what it's called.
Okay.
It's called The Right Stuff.
Oh, what's the one that's specifically about Christians meeting Christians?
Christian Mingle.
But isn't there also one about fish? It's like Plenty of Fish
Plenty of
or
Fish,
something like
yeah.
that. That's also Christian,
Yeah.
which I've got to hand it to them is clever.
Yeah.
But because, fish, Jesus, but also there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, no, it's very clever.
That's very clever.
I think the whole...
I feel like those have got to be the straightest apps.
We got together at the very, very genesis of dating apps. Like Tinder was around.
Tinder was around.
Grindr was around.
Grindr was kind of... Well, OkCupid was first.
eHarmony, I think, was first.
Oh, yeah, you're right. eHarmony and OkCupid came like right after that.
Yeah,
and
but those were internet-based. Those weren't smartphone-based.
Yeah, and then it was Grindr.
Tinder before Grindr, right? Tinder was like the first big app.
I remember being aware of Grindr before Tinder, but that might have also just been because I was in theater.
Yeah. and then Bumble.
And then Bumble, and I remember using my friend's Bumble. Only because she was like, I'm tired of swiping. Do you want to swipe because you've never gotten to do this before? And I was like, yes. And then I was swiping on everyone because I just wanted to give them a chance. I was like, I don't know. Like, what if
you might really like
nice? Them. Like, what if he's really nice? He might be lying on a dead tiger. But he's like got a really poetic side. And that's why I'm really glad I never did dating apps. Yeah. Because I feel like I would have gone on some really horrific dates.
And then there's Hinge. But Hinge is for like people who just want to hang out.
Wasn't there one called like Chariot as well?
Or is Hinge for people who are looking for long-term relationships?
Hinge was for people... Hinge is for like, I'm looking to wed.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. And then Tinder's for hookups.
Tinder's mostly for hookups, but it can be dates.
But I do know people who met on Tinder.
Yeah.
Who like are in love.
Oh, yeah.
And married.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
And I know people who met on OkCupid. I don't know if I know anybody who met on Bumble. Maybe.
Anyway. Swan could use one of these. The dog's snoring. The circle is now complete.
Oh.
So they talk about Bryn for a while, and Swan says he's not a total idiot. In fact, he has a good head on his shoulders. He thinks like a woman most of the time, which he does? How? Like, what is your metric?
I don't know. What is the metric for thinking like a woman?
And so, anyway, we're going to move on. And then they discussing what was to happen tonight served no real point. Because Robert wants it to be a surprise.
Well, women all think the same. Yeah. Because we're a monolith.
They're all the same person. They're all Harriet.
Robert Jordan's only ever met one woman, and her name is Harriet.
It was Harriet. I like he does this. He goes, discussing what was to happen tonight served no real point, which is author speak for, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, it is.
We're talking about this with respect to both, we're talking about this sometimes when writers realize that a plot point has been sussed out, they might change it.
Yeah.
We were talking about how that's not necessarily a good thing.
No. Not always.
But like the goal, Sanderson talks about this, you want your audience to figure it out about 5 minutes before the characters do. Because that way they feel smart, but not too smart.
You know what? I heard this really good piece of advice the other day from somebody who does mystery books. Because that to me is always sounds really hard.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Right? And they were like, it has to do with because I love structure and I love studying structure and I love hearing writers talk about their process. And they were talking about how it's all about the order in which you present the information.
Yep.
That makes it a surprise. So if you present that the murderer was wearing a red shirt and then you introduce someone with a red shirt, we're immediately going to go, it's that guy. Right?
Yeah, because you're keyed up for that.
But if at the very beginning they meet someone with a red shirt and then right before they figure out who the murderer is, they find out that person was wearing a red shirt, that is interesting because you have to have remembered that interaction because it was such a casual throwaway thing at the beginning.
Or you could do the thing that they do on Bones, where it's always the second person they talk to.
Oh my God. It's always the second person they talk to. I tried one time to write a mystery in a class, and I was like, oh, they're never going to guess who it is because this person is someone you never suspect. And immediately somebody goes, it's that guy, isn't it? And I was like, fuck. So it's really hard.
We read a book. We listened. I'm not going to say what book it is. Maybe Anna will figure this one out too. But because we mentioned the Irish book and she DM'd me and said, hey, was it this book by this person? And I went, yep,
maybe
it was. We listened to this other audiobook where it was a murder mystery.
Yep.
And like this character midway through the book borrows somebody else's makeup.
Yes.
And that's on like the third or it's like the first third of the book.
And she has something like a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
And so I went, I bet it's this.
We said I think the plot,
it's this.
The overall plot of the novel is this, and then it was.
And then we went, but we're like
15% of the way into this book.
We're like 50 pages in. It can't be that.
And then it was 12 hours of the characters walking around in the dark, bumping into walls.
It was a lot of bumping into walls. My favorite was Gus and I had the best time because the audio narrator...
Who did a very good job.
But the character kept swearing and the audio narrator kept doing this little like noise when she swore where like if she said shit, she'd go, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. And then
if she said fuck, she sounded like... And I think this was a good performance. She sounded like a seagull.
Fuck. And so at one point, I think I was driving and when we were listening and you're like, oh, you missed the turn. And I just went, fuck. No, I just went, shit.
Yeah.
And we laughed because neither of us had ever talked about how like that was so. Anyway, so now every now and then we'll like go shit to each other. And it's so funny. I love how like in your marriage you come up with these weird private jokes. Yeah. Anyway. So Egwene becomes Amerlincy.
So Egwene is Amerlincy.
Oh wait, she is already Amerlincy.
So they have a whole ass dinner and they just talk about bullshit. And they talk about Romanda, but like not in any real substantive way. We just learned that she wanted to be... The dog is snoring like fucking crazy. I hope y'all can hear that. I'm not cutting it because you yell at me when I say, holy shit, that's loud.
That one they must have heard. I think because his head's propped up on the armrest.
Yeah.
It's so loud.
All right. So we talk about Romaine and Lettuce and...
Ramona and Beezus.
And Swan is like, maybe they'll have us put to death if that doesn't work tonight. What? Anyway.
I appreciate that he's injecting stakes, but I fail to see how those stakes exist. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, like, I understand the concern. It's like, oh, Amerlins have gone missing before, but I'm like, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
If anything, they just play it off as they did, which was like, how embarrassing for you that you even attempted this. You know?
I also kind of feel like Brynn would leave. Like, the army would leave. Like, I do understand why she wanted more more public strength and support. I do understand it.
But here's the thing. I think it would be like the dumbest thing they could do to pull her down at this point, because Rand would be so pissed. If they pulled her down and like stilled her, that's his childhood girlfriend, and they're still best friends. Like, yeah, he's prepared to sacrifice his friends, right? Yeah. But he already fucking hates the Aes Sedai. If they did another thing that pissed him off, he would fucking lose his shit.
So Shuriam comes in and is like, hey, it's time for the meeting. And Swan goes, I have sailed the fingers of the dragon in the dark, you know. And netted a lionfish once with my father. It can be done. And,
oh, cute. And then they, like, show that happening in the show.
Yeah.
How cute is that?
So the Shuriam goes, I have to tell you, I think tomorrow Romanda or Lelaine will be your keeper of the chronicles, and I'll be serving a penance for not warning the hall. And I think you might envy me. And Egwene is like, yeah, well, maybe. You know, whatever. Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking roll. Let's fucking bounce. Let's get moving. Let's do the thing. Let's do this, kick some ass, rock flag, and eagle. And so they go into the hall, and we've got the sitters, and everyone's having a good time. Big titty maid girl's not there. Everyone's confused.
For the first time. I just don't understand why she's allowed at all these meetings.
Shuriam busts in. She comes! She comes! And everyone
I tried to hold it back.
Looks around for Gawain, but he's not there.
It's funny every time.
Because if Gawain were there, she wouldn't. All right.
Wait. Wait, did you psyche diss Gawain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Delicious. Who?
So,
I don't know him.
Quamesa stands up. We don't know her. Maybe we've met her before.
Queef Mesa?
God, God damn it. She goes, what he's brought before the hall of the tower is for the hall alone to consider. Whoever intrudes unbidden, woman or man, initiate or outsider, whether they come in peace or in anger, I will bind according to the law, to face the law. Know that what I speak is true. It will and shall be done. And she sits down, and Eldrin stands up and is like, hey, ward time. And she makes a ward. And Egwene's like, damn, I hope there's nothing ominous going on here. I hope that there's nothing about the sitters' ages. Should I read into that? Should she read into that?
Yeah, probably.
Didn't you say last week that you think it doesn't fucking matter?
No, I said if Swan is worried about it, then I am worried about it.
And Egwene just stands
up.
I
said if anyone else had said it, I would have been like, that's fucking dumb. But Swan said it, so I'm worried about it.
Romanda and Lelaine are both getting to their feet, and Egwene just yeasts herself to her feet and goes, I call a question before the hall. Who will stand to declare war against the usurper Elida de Avrinia Royhan?
I gotta be honest, my social anxiety would not allow, and my fear of like awkward silence would not allow me to ask this question all.
And then she sat, throwing off her cloak and letting it fall across the bench. Standing beside her on the carpets, Shuriam appeared quite cool and collected, but she made a small sound, almost a whimper. Do that again? Egwene did not think anyone else had heard. She hoped not. So everyone is like, what the fuck kind of... What? What?
See, and again, my social anxiety and people-pleasing tendencies would make me such a terrible omelet.
No one put a question before the hall before sounding out the sitters. It just was not done.
And yet, I'd be such a good Satan. You know, I contain multitudes.
At last, Lelaine spoke.
We do not declare war on individuals, not even on traitors like Elida. In any case, I call to shelve your question.
You do not declare war on individuals. I do it all the time.
While we deal with more immediate matters. What brings us to sit tonight is, I was about to say simple, but it isn't. Open the novice book. We would have grandmothers clamoring to be tested,
says the 300-year-old woman. I don't know how old she is. Probably only like 150, whatever.
Remain here a month, I hardly need list the difficulties, beginning with spending half our gold without coming a foot nearer Tarfalon. And as for not crossing into Andor,
And I'm going to do the same voice for Romanda and Lelaine, because they're the same person.
my sister Lelaine, in her anxiety, has forgotten who has the right to speak first. I have 2 questions to call before the hall, and in the second I will address Lelaine's concerns. Unfortunately for her, my first question concerns Lelaine's own fitness to continue in the hall.
So, like, we have this whole proxy war fucking... this is the dumbest thing. And I don't mean that it is dumb that Robert Jordan wrote this. I mean, this is the dumbest fucking thing.
Well, because again, I think you and I feel like if we're in an apocalyptic scenario, that maybe we should all put our petty bullshit aside and try to be the bigger person. But apparently most people would not, and that is so disappointing and concerning.
The thing about Romanda and Lelaine, I already said this. I don't care about... I'm sorry, I've done this so many times.
Well, here's my thing. I don't know what they want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I get that they want power. I just don't know the difference between the two of them. Like, why we might want to root for one over the other, that kind of thing. They're just generally like, I power me.
Yeah.
Me power me.
Not her.
Not her. It occurs to us. We're anxious people. It occurs to us that...
I just read that book. Frederick Backman. Anxious people. Sorry, go ahead.
It occurs to us that we're anxious people, and we're a little worried that everybody's upset because we might be a little more critical than we normally have been of Robert Jordan lately. It's because we're cranky. It's because we both at Wheel Takes will give you cutting socio-political commentary and also dick jokes, and we feel like that's very strongly why you're here at some point.
Probably, yeah.
So we're doing that, but also we do love these books. But everyone gets their slander hour on this podcast, and This is Robert Jordan's slander hour.
Yeah,
we're coming for all your faves.
Yeah,
real and imaginary. I'm coming for Dolly Parton next.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I love her.
No. Yeah. The books will always be...
I am. You know why? I'm firmly against literacy, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
True. I don't think that's true. I just feel like any
mankind has gone downhill since we discovered letters.
Any passage through Wheel of Time is going to be a journey of some kind.
I don't think most people's thoughts are meant to be written down. And actually, I will stand by that.
That's true. Sometimes it's going to be a reflective one. Sometimes it's going to be a sweep away one. This one is I believe the word was irreverent journey was how we called it.
An irreverent journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So.
But you know what? In retrospect, the Wheel of Time does deserve more respect
than us. Yeah.
That comment forever is going to be an evergreen joke for me.
The Wheel of Time deserves more respect than you two. Okay.
You're right.
All right. So Egwene,
that will forever be my second favorite criticism of this podcast. The first always being that it sounds like you just learned how to swear. It's so cunning and so accurate.
Somebody sent me a comic, like a web. I think it was a web comic of shit. Where is it? Hold on.
I think they called you the boy too.
That's
the
fine.
Boy just or the man, one of the two.
Somebody sent this comic, and it says Jeff is bad at swearing, and it's a cartoon man. He goes, "Are you fucking me? Shit off! Seriously, what the damn?"
See, but here's the thing. That's so much more fun.
Some internet person called @Rusty Creates. Rusty period creates.
Okay. So let's move on.
All right,
to Egwene becoming a despot.
So Egwene goes, "A question of war cannot be shelved. It must be answered before any question called after it. That is the law." And the sitters are like, "What is parliamentary procedure? We don't know any of our rules."
I've got it. She's Egwene. You know, like, your punishment must be more severe.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Egwene.
It's good. And Janya goes, Takima, you remember everything you read, and I'm sure I remember you saying you had read the Law of War. Is that what it says? And Takima...
She remembers everything she's read.
Takima, who knows the full extent of the Law of War, by the way, she knows the thing about Egwene gets to be murder queen if this happens. Mm-hmm. She just goes, Why
doesn't she say anything?
It is.
Moment.
Well, I think she wants to see how this is going to play out.
She's like, whatever happens, it's going to be freaking interesting. And we've been sitting on our asses for so long. Takima is a mood.
I think it's because Takima doesn't stand. Does she?
No, she counts.
Yeah. But I think that's the other thing. Y'all are going to tell me that all this shit is going to happen this way for Egwene. And she's not Taviran? Come on now. I know she's not. If you get off the keyboard, I know she's not. In the book. I don't care. All right. I just hear the tapping of Well, Robert Jordan has said.
Every now and then I will say something and I'm just like, I hear them.
So Romanda goes, It seems that Swan Sanche has been teaching you well, mother. How speak you in support of declaring war on a woman? And Egwene is like, Y'all are a bunch of punks. Everyone thinks you're a bunch of punks. Ashton Kutcher's over there. Ashton Kutcher got his hat on. You're getting punked. I don't know what the reference is. I'm doing it wrong.
You're fine.
And you're all a bunch of punks.
No, punked is literally just people getting pranks, and then Ashton Kutcher comes out and goes, "Oh,
it's the camera." Egwene's like, "Look at the camera, bro. You're getting punked."
Ashton Kutcher's career trajectory has been really bizarre to me in a good way, where he went from like Kelso on That 70s Show to guy on Punked to playing Steve Jobs.
Wild.
I know.
Well, Nick Offerman went from Chicago theater, great, Carpenter actually, Chicago theater Carpenter.
At Steppenwolf, I think.
At Steppenwolf, then Chicago theater, then Parks and Rec, and then last week he destroyed my heart in the most beautiful way.
We'll cover it.
And we'll talk about that when we do The Last of Us.
That was one of the most beautiful episodes of TV. Gus and I literally held hands.
I have been thinking about it for 4 days. I can't stop thinking about it.
We held hands and sobbed the entire episode. The entire episode, we held hands and sobbed about
I am tearing up thinking about
love.
That
and
is
how much we mean to each other.
The acting was so good.
Legitimately, like, it was a lot in a good way.
Someone on Twitter said, I really didn't think that I would watch Ron Swanson and the guy who took a shit in a suitcase on the White Lotus just devastate me fundamentally on a Sunday night, but here we are.
See, but at the same time, I know what incredible actors they are.
Oh my God,
I was not surprised at what nuanced performances those two gave. I actually think to be funny on a TV show, you must be a brilliant actor.
All right. So, she says you're getting punked. It's a good speech.
It is.
Today we find ourselves confronted by an army led by people who doubt us. That army would not be there otherwise. You heard Erethel say she did not want to become entangled in Aes Sedai affairs, yet they were willing to bring an army into Mirandy and stand in our way, because they're not certain who we are or what we're about. Did any of you feel they truly believe you are sitters? So she runs through this whole thing. She's like, put your fucking money where your mouth is. All of you. Stop fucking around. Nothing has happened in this plot for 4 books. The tower coup could have happened yesterday. Oh my God. Get your hands out of your fucking asses. Stop being puppets.
You keep calling me a puppet, but the only hands up asses are your hands up your own asses.
Grow a fucking pair. And then she sits down and Romanda goes, who stands for declaring war against Elaine? And then she and Romanda and Lelaine just stare at each other to see what the other will do. So Janya gets up, and Escaralde gets up, Moria gets up.
Thank you.
And Moria looks at Lairel who looks at Lelaine, and Lelaine doesn't get up, so Lyrell doesn't get... I've never heard these names before.
Never once. Never one time.
Samalin...
I think he just makes up new names every time.
Samalin and Molind get up, and Faisal gets up.
Faisal?
Oh, she doesn't get up.
No.
But Solita does, and so does Quamesa, and Eldrin, and Barana, and Delana is just... Her head is spinning like she's possessed. And Soroya doesn't get up, and Egwene is like, it's only 10. No, it's only 10. And then Moria is like, fuck all of you. Get up, goddammit. Get the fuck up.
Get the fuck up. Thank you, Moria. Moria is my new favorite Aes Sedai.
And Lelaine is like, I'll spank the shit out of you for that later, and not in a fun way, but okay, I'll get up.
How about you go fuck yourself?
So Lelaine gets up, and so does Lyrell. Far from standing, Takima grunted as if struck. Disbelief bright on her face, she ran her eyes along the women on their feet, obviously counting, and then did it again. Takima, who remembered everything the first time. So if she didn't want this to happen, why do you think she didn't say anything about it?
See, that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was she just curious what would happen?
So
Did she just think that it was not possible?
I guess. So Egwene is like, holy shit. And Sheriam goes, the lesser consensus standing, war is declared against Elida Davrinia Royhan. In the interest of unity, I ask for the greater consensus to stand. And Romanda goes, you won't get it. The sneer she directed across the pavilion at Lelaine was as good a statement of...
I don't think that was like a request. I think that was a demand.
Of why she, at least, would not stand. Now that little business is finished, we can go on with... I don't think we can, Egwene cut in. Takima, what does the law of war say about the Amerlin seat? And she goes, The law of war states, as one set of hands must guide a sword, so the Amerlin seat shall direct and prosecute the war by decree. She shall seek the advice of the Hall of the Tower, but the Hall shall carry out her decrees with all possible speed, and for the sake of unity they shall and must approve any decree of the Amerlin seat regarding prosecution of the war with the greater consensus. And then Delana just projectile vomits all over the place.
Ain't that a kick to the mod's pubis?
And Lelaine is like, oh, okay, genius Amerlin girl, you're so smart. Why don't you tell us what you'll do next? Okay, will you be so sweet that you tell us what you're going to do next?
I'm gonna fucking elbow this chick in the face.
And Egwene goes, let me make myself clear too. That's the wrong chapter. A certain degree of respect is required toward the Amerlin seat, and from now on I will have it, daughter. This is no time for me to have to unchair you and name a penance.
Boom.
And Romanda is like, yeah, get fucked, Lelaine. And then Egwene spins
like, why
around.
Don't you get fucked even harder?
That holds for everyone, Romanda. If need be, Tiana can find 2 birches as easily as 1. And Takima's like, hey, yeah, good job. Good declaration. I think you're right. Let's sit here for a month, maybe 6, maybe 12. Let's never leave this spot.
Well, okay, here's the ironic thing. Egwene is like, no more stalling. We're stalling for a month. And I'm like, fuck!
There's an end to delays, daughter, Egwene cut in.
Yep.
No more dragging our feet. In 1 month, we will travel from here. She was Egwene Alvir, and whatever the secret histories would say of her faults and virtues, the light only knew, but they would be hers, not copies of some other woman's. I love that.
Yeah.
In 1 month, we will begin the siege of Tar Valon, or Tar Valon, however you want to say it. I keep getting confused. This time, the silence was broken only by the sound of Takima weeping. And that's the end.
Why are they crying? Stop crying.
Oh my god, we have to do something!
Stop crying. This is what you signed up to do.
Yeah.
Why else are they there? This is the thing. What was the plan otherwise? Go back? Do you think that she'd treat you nice? It's Elida. You probably get stilled at best. You're in the big leagues now. Put on your big girl panties, your day of the week, make sure it's the right day of the week, and get the fuck Over it.
Chapter 20, Allie, is called Into Andor. This is the chapter logo. What is it?
A lion.
A lion. You do, notes for Chapter 20, Into Andor.
They're so queer.
Oh, it's so gay.
Stuck in the dryer? Help me, step water. They had some kind of like game where they were stuck in something.
Yeah.
They snuggled in a canopied bed. Stop. Don't stop. I'm sorry, is it one of those kinds of canopy beds with the little curtains?
Yeah.
Because if so, they were fucking in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop it. What else though? Don't. Stop it. Why do women need guards in this feminist utopia, Robert?
Huh.
Anyway. Oh, good. We're being catty. Good. Drunk stick? All caps. Many question marks. Gotta love indentured servitude. We didn't have enough of that in these books, see? I don't like that the people of color, the people specifically coded as the people of color, are like, slavery good. I'm like, they're just it's so loaded for me. It's so loaded for me.
You know the Empress
it's so loaded for me.
You know the Empress is black, right?
Well, it's
of
so...
the Shan-Chan.
And yes, I know, and I'm really uncomfortable by it all. And I'm like, you know what? It's not awesome from a guy who decided, you know what I'm going to do with this awesome general?
Name
his horse after Robert E. Lee. It just all feels like really squicky and uncomfy.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
No, it does.
I gotta be honest. I'm not like out here calling Robert Jordan a racist. I think he was ignorant maybe of how this might be racist. Well, I mean, we're all everybody's racist.
No, I know what you mean.
But and we're all just actively trying to work on that, I hope. But I feel like there's some weird Southern pride.
I think he thought that by
shit going on here,
making the slaving empire be led by a black person, that he was like, look, progress. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it that much.
You know what? Across races, we should all be able to commit war crimes equally. No. No, I don't think this is the future. I don't think this is the gatekeep girl bossing that we want for Tuon. There's a lot to unpack here. And I feel like we did an accidental racism here. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying that you can't have black people behaving badly. Let's just make it new, make it so that it's not all of the black people are engaging in this behavior.
Yeah.
Let's not link all of the black, explicitly black characters to a slavery plot line.
Yeah.
Or a torturer plot line.
Admittedly, this doesn't make it better. A lot of white people are also linked to slavery plot lines.
True. I'm just saying, could we have more black people doing anything else?
Yes. Remember how the Aiel canonically just kidnap people who go into the waste and then sell them into slavery in Shara?
Yeah.
And we just don't talk about that because Robert Jordan decided they were the good foreign culture.
They're the good slavers?
They're the good foreign culture. Yeah, man. We what just gloss over that? It's just a thing they do.
I hate it.
Yeah.
If you happen to be under 5'9", you're just instantly sold into slavery.
I think there's a lot of room for Aiel slander. I like the Aiel a lot, but I also fucking hate things about them. And I think they get a pass because Robert Jordan thinks they're really cool.
So, Gus, I'm going to look you in the face.
Yeah.
By the end of this book series, if there's any justice in the world, all of the slavery will be done. If we're really fixing the world and creating a new, happy, peaceful era, all of the slavery will have been addressed and be done with the Aiel and the Sea Folk and the Shan-Chan and whatever the fuck else there is. If not, it's not really saving the world, is it, Squidward?
You're going to have to read and find out. You're going to have to keep reading.
I wasn't super happy with what his face did.
Who?
You.
Oh, I thought you were calling somebody what's his face. Chapter 20, into Andor, picking it up again with Elayne. Literally seconds after we last saw her on page 100 and fucking dick shit. Where the god 163. We're now on page 439. And this chapter feels to me like a cooldown chapter.
Mm-hmm.
From 300 pages ago.
Yeah.
Now, with all due respect to my man, Robert Jordan, we've cooled down. We don't need it.
I had forgotten what
that
happened.
pie has been on the fucking windowsill, and the berries in it have taken root and sprouted.
Robert Jordan is like me with hard-boiled eggs. Put them in the pot, then forget about them for 45 minutes.
Didn't you once come home and the water had all boiled out because you went to the eye doctor?
No, here's what happened.
And left your
it's
eggs
still
boiling?
to this day one of the most embarrassing things that has ever happened to me. So I make hard-boiled eggs, and I am ADHD. I am who I am. Hi, sweet angel. It's my
dog.
And then I realize I'm running late for the eye doctor. So I leave, not thinking about the fact that I had eggs boiling and candles lit.
You left candles lit?
I did both of those things.
Oh, boy.
I did both of those things. I went to the eye doctor, which was 1.5 miles away. I walked. I'm sitting in the chair, and I realize I've left the eggs on the stove. And I literally jump out of my chair. I've basically got her in my eye. And I'm like, I have to go home. I have cats, and I left eggs on the stove. And I just realized. So I sprinted home 1.5 miles, sobbing because I was worried I just killed my cats. I walk in, 2 candles lit, and the water is gone from the pot.
Oh my God.
Did I still eat the eggs?
They must have been
Yes, I did.
Old computer mouse trackballs.
They were not good. They were like trackballs, actually.
I think the funniest thing about that is you cannot eat eggs that other people have cooked.
No, they're not right ever.
But you will eat trackball eggs.
Because I know that I made them with my hands. I don't know why. It's like other people make eggs wrong. They taste weird.
Chapter 20, into Andor. Elayne hoped that the journey to Camelin would go smoothly, and in the beginning it seemed to do so. She thought that, even as she and Avienda and Brigitte sat bone-weary and huddled in the rags that remained of their clothing, filthy with dirt and dust and the blood of the injuries they had received when the gateway exploded. In 2 weeks at most, she would be ready to present her claims to the Lion Throne. There on... Okay, so, yeah, here it is.
So things are going to be popping off in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
It's like a sweepstakes when you're a kid. It's like when you buy something out of a fucking catalog. You have to wait 2 to 4 weeks. And it's always like 1.5 years.
Did you ever, enter into any of those,
No.
reading competitions or anything at school where they had, a catalog and you could win things out of the catalog?
Yeah, I did, jump rope for heart and stuff as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The wrapping paper sales.
I did that shit, yeah.
I never got anything. I think my younger sister got an alarm clock that could talk at one point.
I got a bike once. I don't know how I did that.
You got a bike?
Bike, yeah.
Bike was a big ticket item.
Yeah.
How much fucking wrapping paper did you sell? Enough to wrap the sun?
I guess.
My God.
I don't remember how I did that.
That was enterprising as fuck of you.
Yeah.
You got a bike? I
Yeah.
got maybe a yo-yo. Granted, I couldn't focus on selling.
Brigitte remember how Brigitte got shot with a crossbow bolt 300 pages ago?
And she took it like a fucking champ.
Well, we finally got that bolt out. It's been about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to do a thing where I just, read all the slog books character by character. Because I feel like it might work better. If you just, a whole book of just Elayne and a whole book of just Perrin and a whole book of just Rand.
Do what makes you happy.
Whole book of just like that could I don't know.
I am planning on reading this series one time.
You say that now.
I know.
So he pulls the crossbow bolt out of her thigh, and she barely.
Which is the sexiest place to get shot, by the way.
It is. She barely makes. Barely makes any noise, and Lan goes, "Taishar Kandor." She's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "Forgive me if I erred. I assumed from your clothes you were Kandori." Brigitta's like, "Yep."
So they say
yep.
Taishar Kandor in Kandor?
Taishar means true blood of.
Oh.
Taishar Manetherin, Taishar Malkir, Taishar Shinar, Taishar Kandor, Taishar Andor, Taishar whatever.
Why would he say that?
Because he just pulled
she was really strong.
He pulled a crossbow bolt out of her leg, and then they healed it, and she barely grimaced.
Good
he was
for
like,
her.
"Shit, you're tough as hell."
But also, it's okay to cry.
It is. So we've got horses. Nynaeve's horse is named Lover's Knot. All right.
Is that just... Never mind.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where you're going with that one. I don't want to know where you're going with that. All right. So, Allie, what's happening in this chapter?
Anal beads.
Oh, okay. What's happening in this chapter?
Anal beads.
What's happening in this chapter?
He's writing anal beads.
Oh, God.
That's what the horse's name is. Anal bead.
What's happening in this chapter? What's the event? What's going on here?
Petey? Oh my god, Petey's offended by that joke.
Petey's getting off the couch.
Wait.
No, he's turning around. No, he's getting off the couch.
He did not like that joke.
Where is he going?
Where is he going to go? Petey, this is a one room.
He's going to go onto his little dog bed. Okay, now he's looking at himself. And now he's turning around.
He's going to turn around
7 to 10 times.
That's, yeah. Go, baby.
He's doing it. He's turning around. He's still doing it.
He's got a paw.
Oh my God. He's still going. He's still turning. Oh my God. Wow.
He's self-conscious now that you're watching him. And
now he's scratching at his bed. He's still turning. Oh my God. He's still turning.
What'd you see coming?
There we go. Okay, now we're good.
We have full donut.
Okay.
Now back to anal beads. My God,
he heard you, and he's
so
he's
judgmental. Petey's the most Oh my God,
he might be cold.
Oh,
it is cold in here.
It is really cold.
So,
but why would he leave the blanket?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna go give him a blanket. You want a blankie? I think he thought I was being too loud.
Yeah, it could be. All right,
he was trying to sleep, and I was being rudely loud, guffawing about anal beads.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so back to anal beads.
Okay, so
Nynaeve's writing anal beads.
So we think about Leanie, or as I like to call her, Nameless, and
she's been sowing chaos long before the Forsaken. They could never. She's the surprise Forsaken.
They get to the Hornwell thing, and Marilla Lily has a maid named Paul. And
what? No, that's not her name.
Paul.
No.
Paul.
The wine guy?
Paul,
as they say in Friends. Again, I can't get over in Dune the fact that this man is going to save the entire world and his name's fucking Paul.
What's happening in this chat? How are the women getting along?
They never are.
They're being snarky and catty and awful and weird and stupid, and we don't need to think about it too much. So the sea folk and the kinswomen and the Aes Sedai and who I don't give a shit. I don't make a habit out of giving a fuck about the sea folk.
Sure.
So, sea folk are acting weird about the Aes Sedai, and Nynaeve is like, stop being little chumps. Anyway, trying to find Ispan. Adelius and Van Dien took Ispan to a shack in the woods.
C-SPAN.
That's good. They took her to a shack in the woods so they can question her better. And like over the course of this chapter, they're like, we're torturing the shit out of her, but she's not coming up with anything, so we think she may have taken a capital O oath not to spill any secrets.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But also very smart of the Black Aja.
Yeah. So Elayne...
I don't think torturing the other Black Ajas has really led to anything either.
Nope. So Elayne and Avienda are like, time to take a bath, like, you know, heterosexual girlies do when you have the option not to.
And then, get the fuck this. They're like splashing each other and giggling.
Brigitte. Soon, she was in a copper bathtub, luxuriating.
Well, Brigitte's by Gita, and we all know that too.
Luxuriating in perfumed soap and clean skin again, laughing and splashing water at Brigitte, who lolled in another tub, except when she was splashing back, both of them giggling over the wincing horror Avienda could not quite conceal at sitting up to her breasts in water. You thinking about their titties?
Yep.
Elayne? Can't stop thinking about them?
Boobies.
Totally straight thing to do.
I like boobies. I like bazongas. I like knockers and chimichongas. That's a song on TikTok.
She and Avienda combed and brushed one another's hair.
Oh my god.
A nightly ritual for near sisters.
Oh my god.
And then they snuggled tiredly
Gay!
into the canopied bed in a
Gay!
small room. She and Avienda, Brigitte and Nynaeve, and lucky there were no more.
Gay positive.
Nynaeve muttered half the night about the indecency of making a woman sleep apart from her husband. And
Why are they making her sleep apart from her husband?
Because she and Lan... There's not enough room for she and Lan to have their own room.
Oh.
So Lan is in with... who else is... I don't know,
boys.
actually. Isn't it just Lan?
The boys.
Why the fuck isn't she... Where is Lan?
What, is he sleeping outside?
Maybe?
Yeah, this part didn't make sense to me at the time.
I don't know where Lan is, because the only people who are with... Oh, wait, we have, like, all the kin and everything else. There
But
must
he's
be
not
other
sleeping
guards.
with random kin.
No, I assume there's other guard. I don't remember. He's somewhere else.
Naive's just bad that she's not getting dicked out.
Yes, she is. Canonically upset that she's not getting railed. Because later
And you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
As a newlywed, completely fair.
They get up the next
She's
morning.
just discovered sex. Let the woman be.
Oh, Tom and Joylene. He's with Tom and... No, Tom and Joylene are in...
They're in Abu Dhabi.
God damn it. I don't fucking know. There's some men. They say so few men for guards. So Elayne is like, here I am, daughter Eravandor. Hope nobody figures out who I am. It's not like I announce my presence. It's not like I have business cards that I give out at every inn. Elayne Tracan, daughter Eravandor. Approximate ransom, 50,000 gold crowns.
How long before she, declares that very publicly? After saying she doesn't want people to know who she is. I give it 3 chapters. I'm Elayne Tracan, daughter Eravandor, defender of the whatever butthole.
What?
I don't know.
So they've got some random noble women and shit, and...
I've been relying a lot on butthole lately.
It's a funny word.
As does Nynaeve with their anal beads.
So they continue to be snarky, and Elayne is like, gotta start laying the groundwork to take that. Why are they walking across the entire countryside? They have teleporters.
I'm saying, why are they doing this?
Like, I understand not wanting to slice someone in half by accident.
But then
Then
you just do a gateway above, look in, right? Then do one. Easy as pie. Am I wrong?
No, I don't know.
With all these innovators, why is not one person going, why don't we just do one in the sky?
I think part of it is also that they are...
Just to check first.
Elayne wants to get the lay of the land. Or
miles outside of the city.
I think Elayne wants to, get the lay of the land as well.
Or fuck it, cut them in half.
She's getting rumors.
I'd rather cut someone in half than walk that much.
What are the rumors they're getting? It's funny. What are the rumors they're getting? Elayne's dead. No, she's not. But she would be a shitty queen, but she'd be a great queen. But Dylan will be a good queen. Let's let Dylan have it. Remember Dylan?
No.
You've met her, actually. I think she was in the camp where Padden Fane stabbed Rand.
Okay.
With Caroline.
Dial-up internet would be better than internet Elayne Explorer. Get it?
Yeah, I like that one. That was good. That's
That
good.
was for you.
Thank
I did
you.
that for
I like
you.
that one.
And you didn't even care.
Oh, it's true, milady, so it is. Elayne's alive.
A gnarled old carpenter told her in Forel Market.
A dragon reborn is having her brought to Camelin, so he can put the rose crown on her head himself.
Okay,
The news
where
is
were
all
you?
over.
Where were you when Gawain was asking after everything?
The news is all over. 'Tisn't right if you ask me. He's one of them black-eyed Aielmen, I hear. We ought to march on Camelin and drive him and all them Aiel back where they came from.
Careful, buddy.
Racist.
Then Elayne can claim the throne her own self, if Daielin lets her keep it anyway.
And Elayne is like, well, thank you for summing up why Rand can't put me on the plot for Gus on his first read. Rand can't put me on the plot. Rand can't put me on the... whatever I was trying to say.
We know.
Rand wants to put her on something.
The dragon scepter?
There you go.
The dragon's fingers in the dark or whatever?
Leany thinks we hear some more Leany bullshit.
It isn't the stone you see that trips you on your nose. Praise the great Lord.
I think that you should not throw stones at glass houses, Leany, because your glass house is friggin' fragile. With all this stupid advice you've given people over the years, you are responsible for the absolute wreck that is the Trek hands.
Yeah. All right, now let's real quick, before we get too much farther, just in case we need them, here's a couple of quick ads.
Bust out your pussy this summer at Kohl's. Take 50% off on all spring items and shake that ass for some Kohl's cash.
That one wasn't real. Did you believe it? No, you didn't. I'm sorry. Here's the real
I
ads.
would die if they did.
Here's a real ad. All right.
That was a TikTok sound.
That was a TikTok sound. Okay, so what if there was a Kohl's ad that also played?
That would be so funny.
All right. Elayne had hopes, not worries, about the things. Okay, so then she's like, we get a little information about Nine Even Land's wedding. She's fucking whenever she can. Torn between eager and afraid when she could sneak him off to a hayloft. Okay. The sea folk believed in hierarchy as they did in the sea, and they knew that a woman and her husband might be promoted past one another many times in their lives. Whoever had the right to command in public must obey in private. And then we get another weird turn of phrase. Lan never took advantage, so Nynaeve said, not really, whatever that was supposed to mean. She always blushed when she said it, but she kept waiting for him to do so, and he just seemed to grow more and more amused.
What?
I don't know. We're not going to think about it too hard.
What do you mean take advantage?
Be like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even, like...
This feels like a weird setup.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
How about we mutually consent to what goes on in the bedroom?
That's a great idea. Why did we need... Why?
You know what's fun in the bedroom? When everyone's having a good time.
Yes. Much better that way. Why?
When everyone's excited with what's going on.
Why does he have to take, like, almost every relationship and make it a little bit...
Rapey?
Little bit problematic. Rapey or otherwise.
Rapey or abusive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I really like most of the relationships. And then he kind of is like, but let's make it weird. I don't know. Dear Harriet, it's me again. What the fuck?
Remember the igloo? Where we were like, this is like...
the igloo
we were like,
was so hot.
This
and
could be
unproblematic.
a little tiny bit better, but, like, it's good.
I want a sex scene that's hot.
Yeah.
And just hot. When is that happening?
So...
Because Avienda Igloo was like 6 books ago.
It was 3 books ago.
That's so many books.
Yeah, well, yeah, all right.
When is someone going to get laid for fun again? Ooh, you know what else was hot? When Fayo was like, husband, can we have some time alone? And he gallops off with her on the horse. Oh my God. We haven't had something like that in a minute.
So Elayne is like, all right, you know what? I know that I just had a whole talking to about not fucking with the ter'angreal. I'm gonna fuck with the ter'angreal.
Good for her.
So she fucks with the ter'angreal.
And then she is drunk on her ass.
There's a blacksmith's puzzle that makes her dizzy. There's a helmet made of fluffy metal feathers that gives everyone within 20 paces a blinding headache except for herself. And then there was the crimson rod that felt hot. Hot in a way. Wrist thick and a foot long, it looked like stone, but felt firm rather than hard. She was alone. Since the helmet, she'd tried to do her studying away from the others. The heat of the rod made her think of fire. Blinking, she opened her eyes and sat up in the bed. Sunlight streamed in at the window. She was in her shift, and Nynaeve, fully dressed, stood frowning down at her. Avienda and Brigitte were watching from beside the door.
Did Nynaeve try to waterboard her this time?
Well, what happened? Elayne demanded, and Nynaeve shook her head grimly. You don't want to know. Avienda's face gave away nothing. Brigitte's mouth might have been a little tight, but the strongest emotion Elayne felt from her was a combination of relief and hilarity.
So that's Brigitte's equivalent to, you had fun last night.
What do you think happened?
Elayne got drunk again.
So she got blackout drunk from the magic rod?
And we love drunk Elayne. More drunk Elayne. All drunk Elayne. You know what? It wouldn't be a slog if we got drunk Elayne every now and then.
9 days after their flight from Abu Dar, scattered clouds appeared in the sky.
You know what makes me sad?
What?
We don't get to see drunk Elayne.
I know.
We're robbed of drunk Elayne.
And a sprinkling of fat raindrops splashed dust in the road. An intermittent drizzle fell the next day, and the day after a deluge kept them huddled in the houses and stables of Forel Market. And then it starts snowing, and they're like, well, this sucks. It's going to be a lot harder to travel in the snow. But hey,
well,
good job.
you should have thought of that before you used the bowl.
Good job, team. And they're like, we need coats. Does anyone have any money? Can we buy some coats? And Avienda's like, I have a bag full of fucking precious gems.
I know where she got it.
Where'd she get it?
The hilt from the sword she gave Rand.
Yes.
Look at that. Plots coming together. Writing.
So then they get to this other inn, and Renila, the sea folk woman, walks down the stairs, walks up to Marillely, and says, you can begin your teaching now. Up the ladder with you to my quarters. When I give a command, Marillely Andovin, I expect every hand on deck to jump. Now jump! And Marillely is like, what the fuck? So the sea folk have decided...
Great negotiating, Nynaeve.
Bargain's done. Give us the bowl. Give us our teacher indentured servants. Renila kept Marillely at her heels, except when she told her off to follow another windfinder. The glow of Sidar surrounded the Grey Sister and her escort almost constantly, and Marillely demonstrated weaves unceasingly. At first, Marillely managed to stand taller by the sheer force of Aes Sedai dignity. Soon, though, she began to wear a permanently startled expression. Elayne learned that when they all had beds to sleep in, which they did not always, Marillely was sharing with Paul, her maid, and the two apprentice windfinders, Talon and Mitara. What that said of Marillely's status.
4 people in one bed?
Elayne
Fuck that.
was not sure.
Fuck that. 4 people in one bed? That sucks.
Clearly the Windfinders did not put her on a level with the apprentices. They just expected her to do as she was told, when she was told, with no delays or equivocations. So, okay, what's happening here? The kinswomen are seeing Ispan, and the kinswomen are like, maybe Aes Sedai kind of suck ass more than we thought. And Nynaeve is like, yeah, they better think that. Fuck the Aes Sedai. I hate Aes Sedai. Shh, I am an Aes Sedai. Here is a gold mark. Please don't tell anyone. And Elayne is like, "What? Do you really want them to like talk back to Aes Sedai?"
That's a TikTok sound, but we converted it.
Yes,
converted it into something else.
So we keep going, and nothing's really happening, and they communicate with Egwene a little bit. Egwene leaves them a letter, leaves them a note that says, "Stay in Caemlyn, keep silent, and be careful." And Elayne leaves a letter that just says 15.
Helpful.
They're 2 weeks out, 15 days out.
Mm-hmm. You know, you could be one day out if you fucking teleported.
Took a gateway, yeah. And then Elayne pranks Nynaeve somehow by, like, Nynaeve is like, I don't like the fact that Egwene is now more powerful than me. It's kind of weird because, like, I changed your diapers and stuff. And now I have to leap when she snaps her fingers. It's hard. And then Elayne snaps her fingers and Nynaeve freaks out. And then they fall back asleep for real.
You have to think then, Nynaeve, that might be how some of the men thought about you as a wisdom. Which doesn't justify it, but if you're feeling weird, maybe that's why they felt weird.
Avienda and Birgitta find this joke hilarious. Nynaeve had her revenge, though. The next morning, she woke Elayne with an icicle. Elayne's shrieks woke everybody else in the whole village. Okay?
I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed if I was woken up by that kind of bullshit.
3 days later, the first explosion came. And then the chapter ends and we go talk to Rand.
No, not Rand.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us like that. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes.
We just got our 100th review.
Yeah, thank you
to the person that it was. We appreciate you, and it made us our whole day.
And other than that, you can always leave us a rating and a review yourself, which is super nice. And we like it when you do that.
Thank you.
Anything else, Al?
Anal beads.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
This is the second time I've ended an episode
It
with
is.
anal beads.
Yes. I played the Colts thing again. Good night. Thank you again for listening. This was Wheel Takes with Allie and Gus. Music by Alexander Nakarada.